that more than 200 media professionals have been killed since the start of the war. Joining us on the line, we've got Martin Roux, head of RSF's crisis desk. Martin, a very good day to you and welcome to Radio Islam International.
Thank you for inviting me.
Why do you believe that an emergency UN Security Council meeting will make a difference? Many would argue that it seems like Israel is going to act with impunity anyway.
Yeah, of course, and this criticism is understandable because so far Israel has actually acted with total impunity. An emergency meeting of the UN Security Council has not been held yet, so this is like a new tool for leverage that hasn't been used, and it would be based on a resolution on the protection of journalists in armed conflict, and so that's why we call for this emergency meeting following the killing of Anas al-Sharif and 5 other journalists in the Gaza Strip on Sunday night.
Even if this resolution was to be passed, right?
Yeah,
we see the tactic that Israel is using. They just classify journalists as terrorists, as affiliated to Hamas, and then justify their targeting. So how do we create an obstacle in terms of that tactic?
yeah. So far, like the way the Israeli army has justified the killing of Anas al-Sharif is a tactic that we knew. You're correct. For instance, over a year ago, on July 31st, the Israeli army killed another Al Jazeera journalist, Ismail al-Ghul, accusing him of being a terrorist. So we see again this pattern repeated in order to justify the target assassination of a journalist. It's a way to the Israeli army is acting this way in order to cover for its crimes, but I think it's very important to remind that these claims are not founded, not credible, and not independently verified. So it's just like a way to divert the attention from the crime itself, which is a war crime, killing a journalist in a conflict area. I also want to add that this kind of propaganda is not coming from any army. This is an army that has already killed over 200 journalists during this 22 months of military operation in Gaza. So over 200 journalists killed. And this is an army that is also targeted by 4 complaints filed by Reporters Without Borders with the ICC for war crimes committed against the journalists in Gaza.
What do you make of the response from journalists around the world? There has been criticism that there hasn't been a loud enough condemnation from fellow journalists globally in terms of Israel's murdering of journalists in Gaza.
Actually, there is like a significant coverage. There are different forms of coalitions, let's say, in order to be heard as the journalist community and to condemn very loudly these killings by Israel of our colleagues. For instance, at Reporters Without Borders, we initiated a call in early June, and it gathered over 200 news outlets around the world. And this call asked for the protection of Palestinian journalists first, and second of all for the access, the independent access, not an embed access, the way the Israeli Prime Minister is suggesting it, but an independent access for the international press through the Gaza Strip. I also want to add that yes, in a way, I also agree with you. Like we perhaps haven't heard the international journalist community enough, but that's not because they were not vocal. That's also because the the, the the massacre of our colleagues is so horrific and
Mm.
unprecedented that anything that we can do will never be enough. So, and also keep in mind that we're going from one atrocity to another. So today you're interviewing me following the killing of like six journalists earlier this week, but only like a few weeks ago I was interviewed because the starvation that is orchestrated by Israel was also affecting journalists and preventing them from actually covering this starvation affecting the rest of the population. And also a bit before that, we were talking about the strike on a cafe in Gaza City that is known to host journalists and intellectuals. And you know, I can go like that
Mm.
until actually the beginning of Israeli military operations in Gaza. Anything that we do, even though we're trying to do what we can, it will never be enough compared to the scale of the massacre of our journalist colleagues in the Gaza Strip.
Martin, thank you so much for your time and for chatting to us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was Martin Roux, head of RSF, that's Reporters Without Borders, saying that they're calling for an emergency UN Security Council meeting for a resolution to be passed in regards to Israel's targeting of journalists. Well,